Alright, what we have today is a Jeep in-car, in-vehicle, multimedia, GPS, Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it, computer system inside my Jeep. And I'm thinking of selling it. So we'll see what we have here. The way I have the motherboard mounted is under the dash where the master cylinder would go for the manual transmissions. I have an automatic. So there's a lot of extra room for me under there. I'll show you where it's located. As you can see, I have a mini-itx system right under there with a compact flash, 8 gig solid state hard drive. Have it wired up to my dash right here. Over here I have the switch for it, which is powered on. I have the power button for the motherboard, which in turns the power to the computer on. It's 900 megahertz, has 12 megs of RAM. The screen that comes with it, it's a 8-inch, I forget the brand, Xerox or Xerox, one of those Chinese brand touchscreen 8-inch LCD monitors. I have Tiny XP Rev0.5 installed with the enhanced disk write filter, so boot times are pretty much cut down to 20 to 30 seconds, and everything is read only. There is no writing to the disk. So if you want to save anything, you either disable the write filter or save it to a USB. So what I'll demonstrate here is the Iguidance GPS software I've loaded on here. It has the whole USA country and Canada and some parts of Mexico in its database for all the points of interest and streets and all that junk. So right now it's locked onto my GPS, which ain't too bad for being in a garage, getting about 7 out of 9 satellites. Now my GPS actually mounted up here, which is pretty convenient. It's magnetic. That's one of the programs that are installed on the memory stick. Let's see what else I have on here. I have MediaCar, which is just a front-end program for playing back any type of media, be music, videos, and all that good stuff. As you see, it automatically just starts playing. I have it hooked up to my JVC CD player using an audio auxiliary input off the actual sound card that's on board. The next thing I'll show you here is I have a DivX installed for playing back movies. I have an actual movie that I copied to this earlier. The next piece of software I've loaded is a program for Google Earth, to where you can actually take the GPS NEMA information and convert it to a KML file that can be displayed in Google Earth as you're driving. This is the software. As you can see, the GPS NEMA serial information being streamed in. What I can do here is actually load the KML file. An interesting thing that I did with this was actually cache most parts of California in the Northern California area, to where 88, Highway 88, Highway 4, Highway 108 areas where all the off-road trails and all that good stuff is, so that I can actually see where I am on the trail with a good satellite overview. So here's an example of one of the trails I run. I think it's called Deer Valley up Highway 4. The detail I have stored on this compact flash. Here's another example of a slick rock. This one actually have a full detail of the satellite imagery. It's a really good spot to go wheeling. The reservoir. It's pretty fun to see yourself on the GPS while you're off-roading, see the different trails and obstacles that you can go explore. On the back side of the monitor, you can see where I actually soldered on a VGA connector onto the board inside it. And you can see the VGA cable right here. It's just a lot easier to unplug now. That's the cable. That goes through the dash right here. Everything plugs in through there where I actually have a USB 4-port hub. And that's where the touchscreen plugs into. So with a very limited set of cables here, you can actually detach the entire screen. As you see here, which you can actually probably store all these cables inside the glove compartment, which ain't too bad when you're not using the screen. And the screen actually tilts around right here, pivots, so the passenger can see it, driver can see it, the rear people in the seat can see it, and voila. That's a very sturdy mount that I made out of metal. This, which is actually included with it, the whole entire sail, is an arm that I made that actually attaches to the handle, so it's very, very sturdy. One concern someone might have is, well, does the screen flop around a lot on the trail? It's not really too bad. I'll have problems viewing it or using a touch screen if I had to, but having it mount to this safety handle here, it's really sturdy. It won't go nowhere. And the way I power the whole entire system is actually that little green wire, which is plugged into one of the auxiliary fuse slots, which goes to my own fuse, which will power the monitor, the computer, and all that good stuff. I actually have an isolation transformer, choke, just to filter out any kind of noise that may come from the alternator.